gorgeous? Does that funk have you feeling stuck? Have you questioning your purpose, or even yet having you asking if your best years are behind you? Girl, you have zero obligation to stay in that funk. This podcast is for women who want to get the funk out of here, who want to play bigger, ask for more, and step out of mediocrity. Imagine a life filled with lots of energy, excitement, and filled with spunk instead of that funk. This is the Unfunk Your Mind podcast. I'm your host, Crystal. Let's go!
Hey girlfriends, it's so great to be back with you again. I've decided to share that I love touching people. It's true. I love hugs. I love holding hands. I love shaking hands. I love putting my hand on someone's shoulder and reminding them that they got this when maybe their storm rolls in. A couple weeks ago, I was at the gym and was walking out of the girls' locker room. The entrance and the exit are the same, and the way they have it set up, it's like a zigzag pattern. Almost always people are running into each other. And I knew that it was just a matter of time before it happened to me. And it happened. So I was coming out of the ladies' locker room, and this cute 80-plus-year young woman, she was coming in. Oh, and it was one of those moments where you try to stop your feet and your body keeps moving forward. Now, I'm roughly 150 pounds, and this woman, she could not have been more than 90 pounds. I grabbed onto her like a mom grabbing onto her child to keep from getting hurt, from both of us getting hurt. Now, I had this woman in a hug lock. You know, like a neck hold or a choke hold? This was a hug lock. I had my arms around her so tight. And when that moment was over, she had this huge smile on her face and said, I haven't been touched like that in a long time. And as I giggled, I deeply apologized. But she literally said that made her day. Now, despite her response, I was still worried about her. I was deeply worried that maybe I had knocked the sense out of her. It was a pretty hard takedown. And after I kept asking her if she was okay, she was insistent that she was perfectly fine. And I'm not exaggerating when I tell you she had the biggest smile on her face. Now, she went on her way, but that whole incident made me pause. Because truth is, I loved that as much as she did. I haven't given a stranger a bear hug like that in a long time. It filled my heart. I used that hug and her smile as fuel, like natural caffeine that I use to amp up my workout intensity. After that workout, I realized that prior to COVID, I would touch everyone. It's my love language. It's like you share a comforting hug with a friend going through a hard time, and you don't need to say anything because your emotions, your support, your love comes right there in that hug. That one single act of reaching out and touching someone, thanks AT&T, it's all it took. You know why we don't forget that phone campaign? It's because it's timeless wisdom. Until that moment with that beautiful lady, I did not realize that I had let COVID take that away from me. It's true. During COVID, I tried to respect boundaries and people's fears by keeping my distance. It's like I gave one of my ways of expressing my emotions a death sentence. And because of COVID's duration, I buried touching people in the grave. After I had that experience, I realized it's time for a resurrection. It's time to give touching someone a new life sentence. Bring it back to life. I can't believe that I had tempered this habit when it came to strangers. I touch my kids all the time. When it comes to hugs and snuggles, I'm all in. Or when they grab my hand when we're out in public, it's the best. If you could read my thoughts, they're saying something like, Crystal, enjoy every second of this because there will come a time they don't want to hold your hand anymore. So even if it's 119 degrees outside and they grab my hand, I'm giving them my hand, sweaty palms and all. And if you were to look inside at my heart, you would see how full and lit up it is. So while that incident with that lady in the gym was very unfortunate and made my heart sink, it actually also renewed something in the both of us. I would even go as far to say that it revived a piece of my identity. I love touching people because I believe that physical touch ignites something much deeper. It lets them know someone cares, that I care. Maybe it fills their tank up just a little extra with a little extra of something. And when their tank gets filled up, mine fills up automatically family too. It's the transfer of energy. It's contagious. And this actually works in relationships too. My husband and I have also thrown this back into our relationship. It might just be a pinch of the butt or a slap on the ass. It's the spirit of it. It's the love in it. Just a little love tap to send an extra little love in. And it literally takes a second out of your day. And this is true too when I meet new people. It's usually followed by a hug or a handshake. Now that I've become aware, I've had so many opportunities to bring my touchy back. I met a friend of a friend, and this particular person was down on their circumstances. They were just not feeling like themselves. And just by resting my arm around their shoulders, it calmed some of their fears and calmed some of their tears. Even if just for a second, that moment brought soothing, a little healing, just by bringing my touchy back. But here's the uncomfortable part of bringing your touchy back. Because if you dish it out, you must be able to receive it too, girl. Recently, I shed a few tears at my new women's group, and one of them said, "Give me your hand." And as I placed my hand in hers, it's like my strength was renewed. Her encouraging energy lifted me right up. Don't underestimate the power of touch, giving and receiving, especially when you're in a funk. Now, I will warn you that it might not go over well with your HR department. And I say to that you're an adult. You can choose if you can accept the consequences or not. But all joking aside, I did look it up. Researchers out of University of Miami conducted a study that proved consensual skin-to-skin contact, or safe touching, supports physical, emotional, and mental health. It has so many benefits. There's even more studies that show that a touch, safe touching, can decrease cortisol, which is a stress hormone. And that touch, it deactivates the part of the brain that responds to threats. It also helps release oxytocin, which has a calming effect and supports a more restful sleep. Today, I wanted to share something that would help you get one foot out of your funk. Bring your touchy back. I wanted to share how something I laid to die in COVID needed to be revived, crystal style, bringing my touchy back. And hey, if touching someone isn't your thing, I want to just encourage you to go back prior COVID and make sure you didn't give a death sentence to something that you loved doing, something that lit you up, that was a part of what made you fully you, what made you fully come alive. It may be time to give it a new life sentence and insert it back into your practice. But if you're like me and touching is your thing, safe and consensual, of course, it's the way you speak life into others, then it's time, ladies. Bring it back to life, and let's go!
Okay, my mom is a professional hugger, a professional hand holder, but she is not a doctor, and she's not a psychologist. This podcast is for motivational purposes only.
Before you go, Superwoman, I'd love it if you took a little action for me, like subscribe to my podcast and leave a review. Also, share the episode with a friend. And as a thank you, hit up my website, unfunkyourmind.com. That's right, unfunkyourmind.com to grab free journal prompts. Okay, ladies, now is the time to go unfunk your mind. Play bigger and ask for more. Open the door to possibility and cancel playing small. So get up and go.